Good morning. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. As you are coming into our virtual lunch and learning space, please rep your city, rep your district, rep your school. Let us know where you are joining from. We're excited to have you here on this March day. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. As you're coming in, please rep your city, rep your school, rep your region, your district. Let us know who you are. Are you a school counselor? Are you a career development coordinator? Are you a special populations coordinator? Are you someone else? Let us know who you are. Flood the chat. And good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, Cherokee. Glad to see you. CDC, Dana. Good morning. Durham Public Schools, good morning. Good morning. CDC, good morning. Bessemer, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, welcome Michelle. Good morning. Good morning. If you're just joining us, rep your city, rep your school, your region. Let us know who you are. School counselor, CDC, Special Populations Coordinator. We're excited to have you in our virtual learning space this morning. We are going to get started shortly, letting a few more people in. Good morning. And as you come in, please mute your mics. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Richmond County, welcome. Dual role, CDC and SPC. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're joining us, let us know who you are. Rep your city, your school, your district. What is your role? School counselor, CDC, SPC. Excited to have you here this morning. And as you're coming in, mute your mics. We're going to have a very interactive chat today. So we want you to get ready to use your fingers and to be an interactive participant. We're excited about today's topic. Good morning. Okay, Amy, I think you're able to go ahead and get us started
Okay, I'll
if you
share
would
the
like.
screen. Mhm.
Good morning. Well, welcome, school counselors, CDCs, and SPCs. We are at the conclusion of another year of our Lunch and Learn series, and so excited that you are here today for us to close out on a very exciting high note. If you've been with us all year long, we have had some fantastic partners this year to talk about the work that we do together, and we're excited to be able to offer this today's topic about our three E's: enrollment, enlistment, and employment. We have one of our fearless colleagues here to take us out and to conclude our series for this year. Part of being our strategic plan is that we're achieving educational excellence. By 2030, we're going to be one of the best. The best. North Carolina is going to be the best school system in the nation. And part of that is making sure that our students are able to choose what post secondary direction they want to go in. And so that is where you come in. And what we're going to learn about is one of those three E's that we're working with our students and preparing them for post secondary success. If you want to know more about our strategic plan, I want to take a moment for you to have a chance to scan the QR code and become familiar with our 8 pillars that we are organizing our work for public education in the state of North Carolina over the next few years, and really see where your work aligns with the vision of the state at large. So today, we are talking about one of the three E's with the focus of enlisting, military careers, and exploration. And I'm excited about this because there's a lot of learning for that I've learned in this process in working with Howard L. Lattimore, who is the state level military consultant, who is a wealth of information and is going to be able to present great information that will helpfully expand your work. Just a few housekeeping reminders is that you will earn a CEU for this. All this session is being recorded and will be shared out for you to be able to go back and reference. And at this time, I am going to turn it over to today's speaker for him to introduce himself and to take us forward. Howard, it's all yours.
All right, all right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and thank you, Dr. Brian. Thank you, Amy, for allowing me to be here today once again with these highly educated SPC, CDCs, and school counselors. So it's my pleasure to be with you. My pleasure to be with you this morning. I think someone may need to mute their mic at this time, please. Can y'all hear that too? Okay. So if you're not, please mute your mic. Please mute your mic.
I'm trying. I'm so.
Okay, there you go. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I thank you for wearing that purple today. Great color. And so I get started with introducing myself. I'm Mr. Howard Lattimore. A little bit of background about myself. I was born and reared in Charlotte, North Carolina. After graduating high school at Miles Park High School, I then joined the military. I plan on joining the military to get me some money for college for 3 years, but 21 years later, I retired. And after I retired, I did retire for 3 years. And then after that, I completed my undergrad in social work at Methodist University in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Went on and got my master's degree from University New England in social work, and then a master in school administration from Fayetteville State. I worked at Cumberland County as an administrator and then as the military liaison. And they thought I knew what I was doing. And then the state of North Carolina then got a position at Department of Public Instruction. And here I am. And I've been with the department for 5 years. So once again, thank you for allowing this time. Next slide, please. We're going to talk about, as Dr. Brown talked about the strategic plan earlier. This is falls in line with Pillar 1, preparing each student for the next phase in life. One of the 3 E's is enlistment. Next. So once again, each one of you play a particular part and a major role in preparing our students for the next phase in life after graduation. And this is just showing special pops receive services and job training. Make sure our students do that. School counselors, post-secondary guidance, just give them a little guidance. This may be for you. This direction may be for you because four-year university technical schools are not for everyone. There are other avenues. The career development coordinators facilitate career development also. We all have to lead and guide our young-minded students. Next slide, please. Let's go over some of the myths. Now, this is very, very important. At this time, please, sir, please, ma'am, I ask that you be prepared to unmute your mics, or you can put something in the chat, but please, this is going to be interactive here. I want you to speak back to me about some of the myths that you heard about the military on enlistment that's not on this sheet. I'm going to go over each one of these, but however, I want you to share with me afterwards too. So myth number one, you have to see combat. Now, the major word in here is have to. No, you do not have to see combat. As I said here, the fact most service members work in support, technical support, medical, cyber, logistics, and administrative careers. So all people that goes into the military, they do not have to see combat. Myth, the next myth, you can't go to college if you enlist. That's totally untrue, 1000% untrue. Yes, you can go to college while you're in. And what's paying for your college is what we call TA, tuition assistance, and the officers, they use their GI Bill while they're in. The next myth, the military is only for people who don't have other options. Uh, I personally think the military is still the best option out there. It's still the best option out there. As I will share later, of the 3 E's, the enlistment gives you all 3 of the E's. And a lot of people do look at it as a plan B. A lot of our students graduate school. They think that university and college is the best for them, and then they find out differently, and then they go in the military. But 50% of them, once they wait a year or two, then they're not qualified anymore, or they can't pass the ASVAB then. So please, sir, please, ma'am, if you have a high school junior, senior, just have them to take the ASVAB CEP, and we're going to go over that later. Take the ASVAB CEP. It's best to take it and not need it than to need it and not not have a score on it. So on that, no, many high achieving students enlist for career training, leadership, tradition, financial freedom, service to their country, adventure. One of the duties and responsibilities I had while I was in the military was a Army recruiter, and just that adventure. Adventure was one of the reasons why they came in. They had high paying jobs, attorneys, bankers, and they say that they just wanted to go in for adventure. Next myth: you signed away all your freedom. Uh, no, you do not sign away your freedom. As I said, service members have structured schedule, time off, and legal rights, most of the same as freedom of non-service members. You don't sign away your life. All you're doing is you're going to get a job, and then is most of the time your job is 9 to 5, just like any job you have now. Once you get off, you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do, play sports. You can get another job if you want. You can get another job if you want. Uh, Read, exercise, whatever you do now, after you get off work now, you could do the same thing in the military. On the weekends, you could do the same thing you do now. You could do the same thing in the military. So at this time, I'll ask for anyone who has a myth or have a question that say, hey, I heard this. I heard this. So as Dr. Brown just said, you may come off now, please, and ask your question about any myth that you heard, so we can dispel that right now. Please. I'll give a minute. Anyone?
Um, Mia Morris from Durham Public Schools. All of the branches have the same requirements.
That's one of the myths you heard, that all of the branches have the same requirements?
Yes.
That's not true. All branches do not have the same requirements. Each branch have their own requirements for enlistment and their own requirement for jobs, and we will go over that a little later also. Military skills don't transfer to civilian. I saw one there, one there. Military skills do not transfer to civilian occupations. Well, I'm a proof of that here. My military skills transferred to this civilian occupation because I'm the state military consultant. My knowledge of what we're talking about today and we sharing with these students is based off my military career, based off my recruiting experience, based off me being a drill sergeant, based off my combat experience and any other thing. So when I retired, I was able to fill out 3 different resumes because I was marketable. And we'll talk about some of that later too, about being marketable. So yes, they do transfer over, and you get college credits for some of the things that you did while you was in the military. The work that you did, you get college credits to transfer that experience into college credits. So I hope I answered that question. If I didn't, you can come off mute and I will ask you a question. Was there another one, Amy or Dr. Bryant?
Not
No,
seeing any.
not
Oops.
anything in the chat. Sorry, Amy.
Okay. All right. Anyone else before I move on to the next slide? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next slide, please. Thank you for your questions. Okay, now we're talking about the employment and the benefits on this side right here. Once you go in, you're gonna get a guaranteed paycheck right after graduation. Right after graduation, guaranteed paycheck and paid training. And this is one of the things that the creditors right outside the military installation, they are they will give a soldier, Marine, airman, anything for credit because they know they got a steady paycheck and they can do it directly to the payment to that company, organization, agency, or whatever it is. So right after high school, you're getting a steady paycheck. Don't have to look for anything. Hands-on job training like IT, healthcare, aviation, mechanics, cybersecurity. Anything we have out here in the civilian market, we have in the military. National recognized credentials, employer value. This is going back to the question earlier that someone asked about it transferring to civilian occupation. Yes, they do, and that's nationally. They know what you did while you was in the military. Tuition assistance, post 9/11 GI Bill for college, certifications, and vocational rehab employment. This is one of the slides, and I'll say it over and over again. Let's look at this. If you enlist, you automatically got employment, that paycheck. You're going to be enrolled. That's on you. You can roll into school with tuition assistance. And as I talked to you about earlier, the tuition assistance and your GI Bill. So you have all three right there under one of the E's. Next slide, please. The ASVAB CEP, this is one of the first steps you have to take if you plan to enlist in the military. Just like if you plan to enroll into a university, then you have to take the SAT or the ACT or the ASVAB CEP Career Exploration Program. This is the first time, this is the first step. And if you see it in red, this is no cost, no commitment. No cost, more commitment. I know your grandfather, your grandmother, your mother or father may have told you, you're not taking that ASVAB, you're not going in the military. Well, there's more to it than that. It's more to it than that. It has a career exploration portion also. And just because you take the ASVAB does not mean that you're going in the military. It's designed to help young people align their strengths and interests with a post-secondary plan. Who doesn't want their child to have a post-secondary plan? And these are three portions of the ASVAB. You have the aptitude test. That's the portion if you want to go in the military. Then you have your find your interest and the occupation find portion of the ASVAB. That's the career exploration program portion. And I'll explain each one of those. Next, please. Okay. These are other, okay, as I shared with you before, the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery portion is the portion to go into the military. Okay. This is the portion that's good for our high school juniors and seniors to find your interest and the occupation find. To find your interest, they're going to ask you 90 questions. If you like it to do this, if you dislike it, or is indifferent, maybe. Okay. It's going to ask you questions like this, such like this. Would you like to work outside? Would you like to work inside? Would you like to work in the profession to help people? Are you technology savvy? Do you like to cook? Certain things like that. And then you would get your related interests, one of these realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, conventional. It'll then give you a score of each one of those areas of what your strengths are. And most of y'all may have taken that test before. Okay. Once you take that test and it gives your interest and what you're good at, or what you're good at, or what you have knowledge of, then you go into the occupation find of all of these careers that's in the military that match you up with that. Because as you know, you may say it in middle school, you wanted to do one thing when you got out of high school. Once you got out of high school, you may have started college with one adventure or one profession. And then you may have changed while you was in school. Our young people are the same. They don't know what they want to do. This is a way to help them find what they want to do. So please, sir, please, ma'am, advocate for the ASVAB because they have that career exploration program in there, that will help those students find out what their interest is and where they go to. It allows students to quickly identify potential satisfying career options related to their skills and their interests. So that's the other two parts of the ASVAB. Next slide, please. Okay, now let's talk about the first portion, the AFQT Armed Forces Qualification Test Score. It's from 1 to 99. You probably heard of this before. It determines your enlistment eligibility, and that's all. That's all. Just your enlistment eligibility. Do you have the core understanding, education to go enlist in the military? That's all that AFQT is about, that first part. And these are the 4 areas that makes up that AFQT score: arithmetic reasoning, math knowledge, and that's your geometry, that's your algebra, and that's your word problems. That's what that's all about. And then you have your word knowledge, that's vocabulary, and then your paragraph comprehension, which is paragraph comprehension. Those are the 4 areas on the ASVAB that determines your Armed Forces Qualification Test score, 1 to 99. Okay? Now, percentile scores. You have percentile score. The AFQT is a percentile score. Okay, so it's saying like if 60 means that you score better than 6% of the reference group 18 to 23 years old. Okay, preparation. This is how our juniors and seniors can prepare. It's not a right or wrong way to prepare, but just take the core courses, the math, the geometry, the algebra, the English courses, and some of your science courses. So from this slide right here, AFQT is the only thing, just eligibility for enlistment, that 1 to 99 score. Next slide. This is the score, the minimum score for the different branches. So from that 1 to 99.
I haven't heard that from her.
The one, please mute your mic.
What?
So the 1 to 99, the minimum score for enlistment eligibility, Army is typically 31, Air Force 36, Navy 35, Marine Corps 32, and Coast Guard 40. This answers one of the questions that someone had there. Does all branches have the same enlistment qualifications and the same thing? This is the first one. No, it's different scores that to even go in. And why I say typically is because sometimes they may have people enlist that scores a little lower, just like the Army, typically 31. Okay, times as of now, with this conflict going on with Iran, is this the best time for someone to go in thinking about knocking down the doors to enlist? Maybe not. So someone who may have scored a 28 or 26, they may allow those people to go in at this time. It's 2 times throughout the year that most people are not even thinking about enlisting in the military. And that's in June, during the summertime, they're thinking on vacation. And in December, people are thinking about the holidays. So sometimes that score may be a little different. So that's why typically there. But you can take a picture of that or make a note of it or research it of what you need. But those between 1 and 99, those are the minimum scores. You really want to make 50 or higher. Take a note of that. You want to make 50 or higher. That opens up different jobs for you. And I'll explain that later. Next slide, please. Line scores. This is where you get your jobs. Once again, if you make that 50 or higher, that's going to open up your line scores. This is where you get your jobs. It's also called composite scores. They're customized combination of subtests result that determines your eligibility for specific military jobs. Okay, it's called line score. So that score from 1 to 99 is only for enlistment eligibility. Your line scores get you the job. And if you look at this enlistment, it's just like an interview. Your ASVAB score is letting us know that you have the basic areas of education, your ASVAB score. You go to what they call the military interest processing station, you take a physical. Okay, we've had people to go there and say they want to be electricians. They want to be an electrician, but when they take the physical, they didn't know they were colorblind. They have some color blindness. So you nor me want an electrician who is colorblind. Those type of things. The physical play a part of you getting a job. So you have your ASVAB score to get in. You have your physical, which is part of your, just like an interview. And then you have a line score, which is typically part of your, interview based on the score that you get, and that'll come up later too. Next slide, please. This is an example of a ASVAB test score report. Now, these are your line scores. If you look for your standard scores there, the GS, AR, WK, PC, and all those things there, those are standard line scores. So it's a general score, arithmetic reasoning, word knowledge, public knowledge, electronics, social, and a combination at that V is a combination. And as you can see right here, is different composite scores for each branch. Okay, like the Air Force, they just have 4 branches. They're gonna put you in a branch. The M is for mechanical, the A is for administration, the G is a general, and E for electronics. Electronics. That's all they have is 4 areas they're gonna put you in. You don't know what you're gonna do, but they're gonna put you in 4 areas. One thing I can say about the Army, before you go and when you sign that contract, you're gonna know exactly what you're gonna do when you're going in. You're not going into a general field. You're not going into a medical field. When you sign that contract, if you're in the medical field, you're gonna be that X-ray technician, respiratory specialist, uh, this or thus, whatever it is, communications. This is what you're gonna do specifically. It's not a general field. And some of those Army composite schools, general technical, clerical, combat arms, um, um, electrical, field artillery, general, math, that's food, that OF is operations. If you get in that area and food service and the standard technical schools. So that's where your line score, that's the other part of, I say, look at it like an interview. So part 1, take an ASVAB and get a minimum score to go in. Part 2 is a physical. Part 3 are your line scores. Part 3 are your line scores. That tells us the area that you're good in. This is the area that you're knowledgeable of. And once again, I apologize, Dr. Brian Amy. I said one time, but I want to stop right there and answer those questions right there that somebody may have a question about the ASVAB, the physical, and the line scores. Please unmute, sir, ma'am, and ask your questions now if you have any questions about those. Any questions?
Nothing in the chat right now.
Okay, good. I will move. I I will move on from the ASVAB line scores and everything like that because I know it can be confusing. So I just want to afford the opportunity to ask those questions about that. Okay, next score, next slide. Okay, this is just the number of the students that were tested across the state of North Carolina last year. As you can see, the seniors tested a total of 5,036. Now, as far as those numbers, I think they're pretty low, and because I think we have maybe over 100,000 seniors across the state of North Carolina, and juniors, sophomores, our super seniors, they're in the early college and so forth. So total students that were tested is approximately 16,200 that were tested last year with the ASVAB in school.
Howard, you have a question in the chat.
Okay.
Are there any read aloud accommodations available for student testing?
For the ASVAB? No, ma'am.
Thank you.
No, ma'am. Okay, thank you. And I'll tell you this too. If someone does, most of the time, our students do not do well on the ASVAB, it's because they're not allowed on the math portion. They're not allowed to use calculators. That's the major portion of why our students do not do exceptionally well on the ASVAB test. In school, they're afforded the opportunity to use calculators. On the ASVAB test, you're not afforded the opportunity to use calculators. So please keep that in mind. Cannot use calculators, right? Okay. Is it possible for teachers to take the sample ASVAB? Yes, teachers can take it and students can take it, sample test. You can Google ASVAB practice test, and they'll give you approximately about 30 questions that they'll give you about the ASVAB pre-test, about 30 questions, and you, after the first time, you can take it over again. And you can take it over again. They'll give you different questions. So the answer to that question is yes. You could take pre-ASVAB questions. You could go online and Google that, and you'll see it. Do you suggest a particular site to use for students practice before taking the test? Any one of those Google sites. On the Army, I know we got the Army of One website, and then it has about ASVAB testing on there. But the general, for any branch, just Google ASVAB practice test, and you'll be able to get it from there. So that's for any branch there. So I wouldn't recommend anyone. I would recommend just to go on the Google site and the basic Google site. Thank you for your question and everything. Are there any other questions? Keep them coming. This is your time. This is your time. Keep them coming. Okay. Found this. All right, those are good ones. So please put those in your toolbox, the ones that came up in the chat. Next slide, please. This is the combined enlistment as of September 2025 that came out of our schools in those age ranges there. So please take a look at those. Okay, next slide. Overall benefits. Overall benefits. Okay, next slide, please. Once again, I think this is the best gig still going in. So let's take a basic E1. Enlistment 1 is E. That's what E stands for, enlistment. So this is a person that's coming out of high school. They took the ASVAB, they took the physical, and they have a job, and they go as E1. Now, this E1 is the base pay. That 2319 is a base pay for any branch, any service. Any branch, any service, E1 base pay. That equals to 27.8 a year. Okay, now BAH stands for Basic Allowance for Housing. If you do not live on the installation, because the installation gets crowded sometimes too, and then a lot of times they want the higher ranking people that needs to respond quickly to live on the installation, or they want the very, very low enlisted, like an E1 a lot of times, with a few children to live on the installation, because if you live on the installation, you can live in housing and it doesn't cost you anything. The electric doesn't cost you anything. You're not paying rent. It doesn't cost you anything. So an E1, someone who's coming out of high school, may have 2, 3, 4 children. They may require them to live on the installation because it cuts the cost of living for them. However, if you want a single person, you would just like a place off the installation, BAH is what they'll pay you. They'll pay you $1,700 a month. They find you a place to rent and for your electric. Okay. BAS is basic allowance for substance, $465 a month for food, substance, basic allowance for substance. That totals $4,485 a month that you'll get paid as an E1. Times 12 a year, that's $5,380, $820 a year. Okay, so an E1 that's coming out of high school, took the ASVAB, took the physical, got them a job, they'll be making approximately no experience. I'll be making 53.8 a year. The base teacher pay, can someone tell me the base teacher pay down in North Carolina? What is it, about 58-ish? Can someone put it in the chat? What's the base teacher yearly teacher pay down? It's probably close to that there. So that's the way you calculate that, E1. Now, we have students that was in ROTC. They was in JROTC in high school. They was in JROTC for 2 years, and then so yeah, I'm not E2, and then they gave one referral. Hey, talk to Amy. Amy may want to go in the military too. They get a referral and everything. They go into E3, enlistment 3. They'll be making 2,700 a month. That's 32 a year. Okay, and if you add up those BAHs and BAH and BAS, that comes to that amount there. Okay, but basic allowance is coming out for 27.33. That's pretty good. Okay, now let's take this individual who went to a higher learning, a university. They took they took ROTC while they was in, and they became commissioned. They can go in as, officer 1, the lowest rank as an officer. Okay, they took ROTC while they was in college, and then they go in as officer 1. Okay, that's a route. Another route right now, all of you on this call, I think all of us have a 4-year degree. I think all of us have a 4-year degree. You can enlist, go to basic training, and immediately after basic training, go to what we call OCS, Officer Candidate School. And that's a way for you to get O1 also. Officer Candidate School. You might have heard that before. You already have a degree. And now you went to basic training. And then you go Officer Candidate School and you become O1. So those are 2 different ways that you become an O1. ROTC in school, or you already have your degree in Enlist. Okay, now let's talk about their base pay. Their base pay is $39.98. So $4,000, basically $4,000 a month. Okay, for your education. They're paying you on your education and your experience. Okay, that's approximately $47.9 a year. Now, look at their BAH from enlisted, $1,800 a month, versus if you go back to that E1, $1,700. Look at your basic allowance for substance. Okay, that's right, a year. That 73 is a year of what they possibly make. 01. I'll go over that when I finish this. So with your BAH and then your basic allowance for substance, I don't know how much you pay for food. If you was a single person, let's take you as a single person without any family. What would you pay a month? Or now you have a family, you, your spouse, 2 children. How much do you pay a month for food? Okay, well, the military is giving you $320 a month, and basic allowance for housing is $1,800. Now, this is the good part about it. This is a good part about those 2. It's based on your zip code. So if you live in North Carolina, you would get a certain amount. This is the basic from North Carolina. If you live in California or New York, you're going to get more. You're going to get more. If the BAH, basic allowance for housing, and basic allowance for substance, due to the cost of living and in other states, just like the cost of living is different in different states, you get more. Okay? You get more. All right. Now, the basic allowance for substance, I think in the chat it say why is officers lower than it is for enlistees? Because enlistees make less money. Enlistees make less money. Put those officers out there, you're on your own. You're on your own. And you're on your own. Okay. And some of them do eat in the diner facility, but they pay more. An enlisted person can go into the diner facility. They pay less than officers due to the officers pay a little more in the diner facility. As you know, military installations have diner facilities. But the good thing to take away from here is the BAH, you're getting paid for this, and the basic allowance for substance that you're getting paid for here. And as I think that was aiming at put that up there, that's like 73,000 a year. 73,000 a year, over $73,000 a year. That's pretty good. And that's the basics. Now just think about when you go up in rank. The higher you go up in rank, your base pay is more and your other pay is more the higher you go in the rank. But I just want to let you know what our high school seniors and our high school graduates are making coming right out of high school, no experience, going to college and coming out of college with no experience. They're coming out and they can make 73,000 plus. Okay, so that's what I want you to take away from that part there. Next slide, please. Okay, financial stability and life stability. As far as going in the military, as once again, I said it before, I still think it's the best gig going. Okay, housing allowance or off-base housing, just like we just talked about just now. Financial. When I was in the military, people, when I used to go back home to Charlotte and being around off the installation, people always said, oh, y'all make a lot of money. Y'all make a lot of money. Well, the money is okay. However, we have good benefits. We have good benefits. A lot of things we don't have to pay for. Okay, just like this, we don't make a lot of money, but we can stay on the installation for free, or you get a housing allowance for that. Free medical and dental. Healthcare, when I became a recruiter, I found out a lot about how much civilians pay for health care. It is ridiculous. So a lot of civilians, what you make, a lot of it go to healthcare. Now, what I pay a year, I pay approximately $490 a year for my family for healthcare. For healthcare. Some people pay $490 a month for healthcare. That's a difference. That's a difference. Okay. So that healthcare, when I found that out when I was a recruiter, I said, well, I think I'm gonna stay in here a little longer. This is a pretty good gig. Okay. Free medical, free dental. You get physicals all the time. If you get sick, you go to the doctor. You don't have a copay. You don't have those specialty pays. You just go. Okay. Dental care. You go to dentist twice a year for basic cleaning and basic service. Free. No student loan debt while gaining experience. Um, you use your tuition assistance. You use your GI Bill while you're in, and therefore you don't have any student loan. When I came out of the military, I used one of those services before. It was vocational rehab. It was VRE that it was at the beginning of the slides. I used my VRE to get my undergrad, and then I used post 9/11 to get my 2 master's degrees, debt free. Thank you for your service. That's the education benefits. My son went to University of North Carolina, Charlotte. He's debt free. Okay, the military helped pay for that, and then military scholarships and other scholarships. That's for veteran and disabled veterans. My daughter now, she's at Wingate University for pharmacy. She's going to school. She's not paying anything because of scholarships, because of military education benefits. Okay, that's a good feeling knowing that you could go to school. You don't have to worry about debt and paying for it. It's a good feeling once you come out that you don't have one of those major 3 lifelong debts that you have. Because most people that I've heard when I was coming through, you have a house note, you have a car, you have medical bill, and you have student loans. Those are the big 4 that you have, right or right. Okay, I've heard that. Okay, with enlistment in the military, okay, I paid off my house because that's just personal, just something to do. But I don't have student debt, and I don't have major. I don't have any medical bills. And I'll share this with you, just being transparent. I had a heart situation that I had a few years ago, and it cost a lot of money. However, with my military medical benefits, I paid $35, and that was it. And it cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for my medical procedure, hundreds of thousands of dollars, because the bills came to me, and then we turned them in when they came to me, and those wasn't all of the bills because some of them didn't even come to me. They just don't require payment, or they got paid before they got to me. So those are the ones that got to me, and I saw how much they cost. Just imagine the ones that didn't get to me that was already paid. So those student loans, that medical, is a good gig, and it's for your family. It's not just for me; it's for your family also. Early financial stability and savings and retirement options. Uncle Sam said if you do 20 years, you could come out retirement. Okay. I did 21 years and I came out retirement. I was retired at a young age. Guess what? I'm 15 years now into the school system. Now I was able to start another career. Now just think of this. Just think about one of our high school seniors. Just let's do the math on here. If they come out of school, let's say the average 18, average 18. If they do 20 years in the military, they're 38 years old and, and receiving a retirement check at 38 years old. Now, let's say they do something else for 20 more years. They're 58 years old and can have a double retirement for something with 20 years. And that's 50. That's 58. If they want to do the education, you have to do 30. They'll be 68 and have a double retirement. And then they draw Social Security, disability, or whatever like that. Okay, so Going back to financial early retirement and financial stability, when you get out, you get your retirement, but also you get your disability because you're not the same as you was when you went in. The same 18-year-old Lattimore that went in 1985, it was not the same Lattimore that came out in 2007. So you get disability for whatever disabled factors that you may have that change while you're doing military service. Okay, it's pretty good. I have enough with my lifestyle, with an average lifestyle, with my lifestyle, I have enough to not work with my retirement and disability. I make just as much as some people who go to work every day with my retirement and disability, and they go to work every day. Okay. Once again, I think it's one of the best gigs out there. Next slide, please. Personal growth and opportunity, leadership and discipline that lasts a lifetime. When we come out of the military, one of the things we can say in an interview, if you hire me, you get a person that's dependable. I'm going to show up to work every day on time and in the right uniform. That's discipline. Can we say that about our youth today or this generation today, that they're going to show up every day on time and in the right uniform or in the right attire? A lot of those we can't say. And they know we have leadership ability. That's why a lot of people, when we come out of the military, we can go right into management somewhere. We can go into management at Walmart distribution. We can go at food line distribution. We can go in management at Kohl's, at JCPenney. A lot of occupations, we can go right into management because we had to lead people already. Just as you can out of the school system, if you're a principal or higher than that, you may retire, you can go right into leadership. You may can do that. Okay. But in the military, they know that you have leadership skills and you have that discipline, dependability, and those things. You could travel opportunity across the United States or overseas. The one thing I liked about the Army is I was going somewhere and I'm gonna stay there 3 years minimum. I'm gonna be there 3 years. I like that. I got the opportunity to get involved in the culture and learn the culture, learn some of the language and those things. Some of the other branches, you may go there, you may stay 2 days, just like on a cruise. You may stay there 2 days and you're gone. Did you learn the culture? Did you really get to explore the environment? Maybe so, maybe not. Okay, but that's one thing I liked about the Army. I was there for 3 years and I was able to explore the culture and learn some language. Strong sense of teamwork and belonging. You know, a person that's come out of the military that they are a team player. They are a team player. Okay, because you had to be a team player the whole time you was in. Veteran status open the door for jobs and benefits after service. Some occupations you go into and careers you go into, they have a veteran preference program. Veteran preference. So if you get a veteran job, I'm gonna say if there's somewhere you applying on your application, they have are you service connected, are you a veteran? Y'all seen those applications for are you a veteran? Why they put it on there? Because you have veteran preference. Some of these organizations and agencies, they need to hire so many veterans. So you get that veteran preference. Okay. And if you're going for a government job, you get, let's say if you go for a post office job and you have to take that test, you get extra points on that test for being a veteran if you're going to work for the post office. That's something. Okay. Next slide, please. These are some of the resources of the things that I've covered today. These are some of the resources that you can go to, the ASVAB CEP, common military acronyms, some of the things I said today, such as BAH, Basic Allowance for Housing, BAS, Basic Allowance for Substance. You can get it for these terminology and these acronyms. The military pay table. Go over the example that I gave you with the E1, E3, and O1. Look at that pay table and do the math. And number 5, you got the education benefits. Talk about all the education benefits and how you get that. I'm telling you, sir, I'm telling you, man, those education benefits and the medical, I think those are the 2 things that I've benefited the most since I've retired. The education benefits and the health benefits. Next slide, please. Here's my email address. Here's my phone number. If you didn't have a chance to talk today, you can take a picture of it. Please email me or call me, and I will answer any question that I'm able to answer. If I'm not able to answer, I will find the answer for you. Okay, it didn't answer the question. And that's all I have. Next slide, please. And I think I'll turn it back over to Amy and Dr. Brian. But overall, before I do that, I apologize, Dr. Brian and Amy. Overall, do you have any questions personally to me about my military experience or any other question that you may have about the military, the enlistment of the 3 E's? Once again, I'm kind of biased. I may be kind of biased, but enlistment is still the best gig out there. I can go in, I can make a lot of money going in, I can have some benefits going in. I can get the veteran status once I get out. I have education benefits and I have health benefits. Do anyone have any personal questions of me, of my experience while I was there in the military now? It was a question that just came up. I was talking, I didn't get to read that one just now.
The
That
question
came up.
says, how old can students be when they commit to the service?
The minimum age is 17 with parental consent. With parental consent, 17. That's the youngest. And the oldest now is what, 42, I think 42 with a waiver. That's an age waiver. The age is 39, but with a waiver you can get into 42 with an age waiver. And the reason why that is now is the minimum age for ASVAB, a junior in high school, and I'll explain that. Okay, the age waiver, if someone goes in at 42, they wanted to be compatible with drawing Social Security at 62. So if you're going at 42, 20 years or 62, you get out, you draw your retirement, your disability, and now you could draw your Social Security benefits with 20 years out. So if that makes sense to you, okay. And then the question was just now, what was junior? And the reason why it's a junior in high school, because the ASVAB test scores last for 2 years. It lasts for 2 years, the ASVAB score. So if you're a junior and you take the test, you make a 75, you can hold that 75, because as I said before, 50 is really, really what you want to make to open up a lot of things for you. So so you take the ASVAB as a junior, 2 years. So the next year you're a senior, you graduate, and then you may try to job, may try to go to school, and it's not working out for you, but the ASVAB score is still good. So that's why that's the youngest that we're allowing a junior in high school. I have a follow-up question, please. If you have any follow-up question, please submit. Okay. Any other questions personally or about the E? Seeing none, hearing none. Dr. Brian,
No,
Ms. Schroeder.
no questions, but a comment saying thank you for this information. It has been very clear and succinct.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yay.
Yeah, thank you thank you so much, Howard, and everybody. Very clear information, easy, and definitely a career option. An invaluable one, right? All the benefits are there, and plus the transferable skills. Um, fantastic. I mean, fantastic. You
Look at the comments. Look at the comments.
Yeah,
Keep
look at the
going. Y'all making
comments.
me
Great
feel good.
info. So helpful,
Especially the
not
comments.
overwhelming. We will
Yeah.
have the PowerPoint with the recorded link out to CDCs, and Dr. Bryant will share that as well with school counselors. This has been a fantastic way to wrap up our Lunch and Learns for the year. Thank you, Howard. We had 6 this year, and you are wrapping it up. March Madness is always military madness in my mind, so it's perfect. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and keep in mind that this session has been recorded again, and we have a few more minutes, about 6 more minutes. We can stay on and stop the recording for any questions if you're not comfortable having those questions on the recording, or you can have your 5 minutes back. 5 minutes left in this meeting. What fantastic information and opportunity for our students, citizens, and the ASVAB, if I could wrap that up. I know Mary Beth had some questions in there, and early on I mentioned when I was a CDC the first year, I took the ASVAB. I wanted to know what it was like to best inform our students, and the debrief and the AFQT score and all that. So helpful to
So you took
understand.
it,
We
huh?
all, yeah,
Good.
absolutely. My sister was an officer in the Navy and she took it as well. And so I heard some things about that. And then I had a boyfriend who was in the Air Force Reserve and he took it. And of course, students. But I wanted to know what it was like. The results, we understand what the SAT is, the ACT, because that's a normal test or assessment to take in school. And if you haven't taken the ASVAB, why not? Why not? In case you're smiling at me, why not? Um, it's a good assessment. It's another gauge of understanding career interests, and you get the free career platform for 2 years after, which is a nice, rich platform related to careers that can align and transfer to civilian careers. So that's my
Absolutely.
little pitch there. Keisha, would you
And
like
Absolutely.
to
I
say anything?
I will say I think Howard said it best a few years ago at a career development type summit where the military services is the one place you can get all three E's. You can be enrolled, you can go to school, you can enlist, and you can employ. And when I heard him say that, then it was just like an aha. And so when you think about the students that you're working with on post secondary um, desires, make sure that you're leveling up all three E's and not just the enrollment. We emphasize enrollment a lot. We emphasize employment, but let's make sure that we're leveling up all threes. And that was just a nice way to bring it into perspective that it's a one-stop shop where students can get all three if they desire. So just kind of want to add that in there. That was an aha for me and really gave me a newfound respect of the power
Great.
of being enrolled in being a part of the military services. So I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you,
Hey,
Howard.
thank
This
you.
is great.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And
Thank you.
I put Howard's email in the chat if anybody would like to follow up directly if you didn't catch that on on the PowerPoint. And then Keisha's, Dr. Brian's email and my email, of course. I'm going to stop the recording. And as a wrap up, thank you for attending today. Thank you for taking the time and for all that you do for your students, whether it's enlist, enroll, or employ, the way you were connected into the future. You are making an impact, and we know that, and we appreciate it.
And thank you all. And my pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
The
Everyone
recording
have a